Hey all, Heretic here, and today in the Battlegrounds we're talking about Season 10 announcements for the Mechs. We're going to go over everything Mech. All the different minions coming, going, changing, trinkets, all that good stuff. Let's not hesitate, let's jump right into it. Now first we have to start with our friends that are leaving. These are the Mechs you won't see anymore for now. You know they'll come back again because a lot of them make these routine trips in and out of the meta. So who are we losing? The Annoyatron. Not a big deal. A Cordatron. This minion can be annoying when someone finds a lot of them, of course. It's great when you've lit a lot, but not when your opponent does. Clunker Junker. I am perfectly happy to see this one gone. As much as I love it, its interaction with cards like Young Murkai just make it so you could do some really stupidly overpowered builds that, quite frankly, means I'm happy if this thing's not in the game anymore just for that. That and there's not a whole lot of other battle cry use for mech, so it's good to be gone for that. Lighter Fighter will be gone. Lighter Fighter is always a cute little trick everyone likes to roll out and shoot everyone for some damage. It's fun when it works. It doesn't work in a lot of lobbies, but it's cute when it does work, but gone. Kangor's Apprentice is gone. Now, Kangor's does enable a lot of fun, weird, quirky builds. Kangor's gone is going to affect those. We'll have to see how things develop with the new minions we add. Mechanized Gift Horse is gone, and not really something you use in a mech build anyways. This is something you're going to be using in beast builds, hell, even undead builds. So it's nice to see this thing gone because it's just not serving any purpose in an actual mech build. Cyborg Drake. I love this thing. It's good in Menagerie, it's fine for dragons, it's great with mechs, but not anymore. Moonsteel Juggernaut is gone. Hey, you end of turn mech boards who love making all the tokens this way. No more to make this way. You'll find others. I believe in you. Utility Drone gone. This thing just got to its current state and it's just gone. It was here for like, what, 2 weeks it feels like? And then just poof, gone. I'll miss you, Utility Drone. Sorry. Now we'll have some returning and or changing mechs. First, Cord Puller's back, Tier 1, 1/1, Divine Shield, Death Rattle, Summon a 1/1 Microbot. Not bad, cute, not really gonna love it, hate it, whatever, it's there. Mechanome Interpreter's back, but this just seems to be a wording change, as it's still gonna be exactly the same, it looks like when I read it, but been changed a little bit. Technical Element goes from a Tier 3, 5/5 magnetic, can magnetize to both mechs and elementals, to now being a Tier 5, 10/10 elemental mech. Magnetic can be magnetized to mechs and elementals. Well, I mean, it is a big stat increase. It's a big tier increase. It still does the same thing. We'll see how useful it is for elemental boards now, but it's certainly, you're going to see less of them, and I'm not sure they're that good if this is just a temporary move, or this is interactions I'm not considering with some of the new cards causing power spikes. We'll see. Now for the mechs that are staying, there's a lot. We'll cover them all quick. Lullabot, Ancestral Automaton, why? Frantic Alarmabot, Annoya Module, Deflectobot, Arcanatron activated, Marquee Ticker, Greasebot, Prosthetic Hand, Hollow Rover, Charging Zarina, Dr. Boom's Monster, Mecha Jiraxis, and the spells Scavenging for Parts are all staying. They're exactly the same, so for mechs the most part, at least the core, no changes. Now we've got the fun stuff, the new mechs that are arriving, and there's some interesting mechs, so bear with me, it'll take a minute to explain some of them, but Tier 2, 2/1, Metallic Hunter, Death Rattle, get a pointy arrow. I mean, at Tier 2, not exactly a monster's stats, not exciting. It does give you a spell every turn, and as we know, we can buff spells more, and you might have, this might be useful for, say, a Menagerie board, but I really don't see this sticking around for most boards. Late game, this just seems like an early thing, and really, I feel like there's better things to take, but I'm sure there's going to be builds where we can make this work really well. At Tier 3, 4/2, Springy Springigan, Magnetic, at the end of your turn, give your other mechs +1 attack. Not bad. It's a magnetic, so you're going to attach it to something else, then it's going to buff everything constantly. So the fact that it doesn't take up a board slot and accomplishes this feat makes this a pretty good minion. Tier 4, 2/2, the Auto Assembler, Magnetic, Death Rattle, summon an Ancestral automaton. Are you starting to get a feel of how they're thinking about making mechs work? Yep, you can magnetic this thing onto any mech, and it will then summon an automaton when that mech dies if there's room. Oh no, God no, please, please no. Tier 4, 3/3 Rickety Repair Bot. At the end of your turn, magnetize a random magnetic mech to this. Now, there's already a lot of mechs in the game, like a lot. And I'm not sure I want this in my end state board. And where I'm picking this up, I mean, maybe if I triple into it early for some tempo, but you don't know what it's going to magnetize to itself, so you don't even know if it's going to be good. I'm really not sure how I feel about this minion. You know, it works with a Drakari Enchanter, so you can get it to trigger multiple times. There's lots of different things I'm sure that we can make happen with this, but it feels like there might be better. But who knows? Maybe I'm not giving it enough credit for the potential it has. Jumping up to tier 6, Electron Powered Up. This 5/5, after you cast 2 Tavern spells, magnetize a 3/3 satellite to all your mechs. 2 left. Now, obviously, magnetization is how we're going to be making ourselves stronger with everything you're seeing here. We're going to be putting a lot of different magnetized things on minions, and that's going to cause some scaling. Now, this has some really scary potential. A lot of mechs are generating magnetics, or are magnetics in some of the new ones. And if they're constantly adding, through casting spells or just end of turn effects, mechs to your board and saying, now you get a Dr. Boom, well, the thing to remember is they're randomly generating mechs. They could be randomly adding Dr. Booms to themselves, which is also scaling based on all the magnetic mechs we've put on. So this can get really big really fast. This is going to be an interesting change from how mechs worked before, which was similar, but it was hard to get the Dr. Booms. It was hard to control them. You still might not get them, but if you're generating as many magnetics as it looks like you might be, you're probably going to get at least a couple, and that just means they're going to be bigger when you get them. So this is going to be pretty crazy. I am excited and interested to play me some mech games. Let's talk trinkets. We're going to start with the lesser trinkets that are returning that we can play with. We're going to be starting with Glowing Gauntlet. 1 gold, minions in the tavern have +3/+3. Not crazy, just good. For 2 gold, Electromagnetic Device. Discover a magnetic mech. Whenever a friendly minion is magnetized, gain +3/+3. Now that one wasn't as good previously because we just didn't magnetize that often as much as we'd like to in the previous one of these metas. Now I feel like there's a lot of potential for you to be doing a lot of this, and this buff actually piling up a lot for a lesser trinket. For 5 gold, Automaton Portrait. Get an Ancestral Automaton, start of combat, summon an Ancestral Automaton. Well, we just found out that there's a magnetic that puts automatons on your minions. And then the fact that some of your minions randomly generate magnetics can be utterly insane. We're gonna see giant magnetic minions pooping out giant automatons. I think it kind of feels like it might be a bit much. If it works as much as I'm afraid it is gonna work, we'll see. Blingtron Sunglasses. After you summon a mech in combat, give a friendly mech Divine Shield. Now, I didn't love this last time. It wasn't really super exciting, but now that we have the ability to put automatons and everything, and they're going to be scaling constantly, maybe this will be more effective. I don't know. I want to play some games before I pass judgment, but the potential looks kind of crazy. All right, let's talk about the new lesser trinkets. First, we're going to be starting with Divine Signet. 4 gold, after a friendly minion loses Divine Shield, get a random tavern spell 3 times per combat. Now, this is the lesser trinket, so we're not going to know what we're doing at this point in the game, what we're going to be playing exactly. But if anything, run a couple Divine Shield minions, get free spells, and if you happen to play mechs, there's a lot of synergy there that can work for you. Spell Powered Wrench is 2 gold. After you play a magnetic, get a random tavern spell. Okay, well, the only problem with this one is now you kind of have to play mechs, because if you're not playing magnetics, your lesser trinket is dead, and sometimes that's going to happen, but I don't like that it leans me that hard into it unless I'm pretty sure I'm playing it, but it's still a good one if that's what you do. Battle Cruiser Portrait is 2 gold. Get a 2/2 Battle Cruiser. Whenever the tavern is refreshed, add a upgrade to it. Oh, well, your lesser trinket shows up and you've just decided, I want to be the hero Rainer and have a Battle Cruiser. There you go. I mean, nothing wrong with it if it's the one you want to go with. It depends what other things are offered to you. Battlecruiser is a good minion late game, especially now with the way we can do more and more magnetics. But we'll see. I want to play some games before I pass any judgment. It sounds interesting though. Reusable batteries, 3 gold. The first time you buy a minion each turn, get a magnetic satellite with its stats. That means the first minion you buy, if that thing's a 1010 or a 2020, you're gonna buy a 2020 magnetic. It's gonna give you a 2020 magnetic. I mean, you don't know you're playing mechs at this stage, but you're still gonna get a lot of tempo from this at the very least. And you definitely could splash in an all-type minion and abuse this thing. This has a lot of fun potential. I really like this. All right, let's jump into the greater trinkets. First, we're gonna start with the returning ones, and we're opening with Mecha Jirax's sticker, 3 gold. Get 2 random magnetic Mecha Demons at the start of each turn, get 2 more. Now, the pool of Mecha Demons isn't bad. You're gonna be able to attach them to anything mech or demon, which is good. But at the same time, I feel like from a greater trinket standpoint, you should be able to get better than this. If you're not offered anything better, hey, why not? Go nuts, take it. I just don't feel like this is what I'd like to get for my greater trinket. Fridge magnet is 3 gold. Avenge 3, get a random magnetic minion. Whether or not this trinket is a trap, I do love this thing. If you're running enough death rattles, if you're thinking about going mechs, and all of a sudden this thing's offered to you, go nuts. Just start kicking out magnetics left and right and have a good time. They're completely random what type you're gonna get, so you might get the worst ones and you might get the best ones. I just think it's an interesting one for the cost at only 3 gold. You can fill your hand with magnetics with a decent board in that mid game and just go completely nuts. It's like, yeah, I lost the combat, but I've got 7 magnetics this turn. Let's go. All right, it's time to talk about the new greater trinkets. Let's dive into all of these and see what we got for our mechs. First, we have electromagnetic device, 3 gold. Discover 2 magnetic mechs. Whenever a friendly magnetic minion is magnetized, give it +4/+4. Well, if when you're offered this, you have any of these minions that are generating extra magnetics when you cast spells or just through time, obviously this is going to start adding up. And if you think you're playing mechs, there you go. Pretty good direction there and decent enough tempo with what you're getting. Turbocharged drill, 5 gold, get 5 different magnetic mechs of any tier. Interesting. I mean, you get 5 minions, which is good. It's tempo. I would say this one's really good if you really think you're about to die. It's like, well, I got 5, let's go. Let's just throw this out there and see what we can do. Otherwise, For 4 gold, Drakari Portrait, get a Drakari Enchanter. Your Drakari Enchanter are both mechs and elementals. Well, come on. If you're already playing mechs, this thing may not have a good stat line, but now you can stick magnetics on it. It's going to double your end of turn, which is generating mechs, generating spells, whatever. Get more value out of that. This one is a great one if you're going for that kind of end of turn mech build. Zarina Portrait is 2 gold. Get a charging Zarina. Your charging Zarinas also give health. That is phenomenal. You start just casting spell after spell after spell. You're not only now cranking up your attack, but you're also bringing up your baseline health. And that's usually the problem with mechs when someone just say, hey, tunnel blast your entire board. Now you've got the Zarina out there who's pumping you with health also, which could be a big reward. It sounds promising, at least to try. Boom Master's Portrait is 4 gold. Get a Dr. Boom monster at the start of every 2 turns. Get another. It seems pretty good, but it also doesn't seem crazy. If you've already played a lot of magnetics, it's a nice chunk of stats. But if you haven't really played many and it's just the direction you're going, this isn't going to give you a lot of tempo. It's going to take a minute for you to scale up for this to be worth it. That being said, basically when this is offered to you, you kind of should know if this is something you can survive to build up, or if you should cut your losses and go with one of the others. Artanis sticker for 2 gold, get a copy of another card. I mean, this could mean a few different things, but to me, this is basically, I target a minion, be it one in my shop or on my board, and it just gives me a base copy of that card. At 2 gold, I don't think this is going to be an exact copy of that minion as is. I think it's just going to give you a baseline copy. Good for making triples, good for getting just some extra things you need on the board. So it's not bad. At 2 gold, it's a good cost, and you're going to know if this is going to make a big difference for you. Either it's going to give you a triple, or it's just going to give you something you really need an extra one of to be more effective. And that's it. That's mechs. That's all we've got. That's all of the different minions, spells, trinkets, everything. And there's a good bit of change there. There's a lot of fun looking potential here. I'm excited to dive in and play mechs. I already like mechs anyways, so hey, an excuse to play mechs for me, I don't really need. Let's go and have some fun with it. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Let me know. Do you think mechs have decent potential? Do they look broken or do they look weak to you? How do you feel about them? Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the Battlegrounds. Until then, have a good one. Later.